Hello, this is Chill Computer Guy. We're here in Bitwig Studio. Our quick tip today has to do with templates. What I actually like to do is have 3 separate templates. You may have 2 separate, you may have 5 separate. Everybody works differently. What I do is I have a template for writing the music, the melody, the chords, the music. And we also have a drum template, and this is just for designing drums. And you'll see here what I have is I have MIDI grids. This is whole note kick drum. Whole note kick drum, downbeat. You're not going to be able to notice this because this is relative to other notes. You have a half note kick drum. Half note kick drum on the downbeat. Again, not going to be able to notice until it's relative to other notes. Kick drum 4/4. So you want to make a dance track. There you go. There's your standard 4 on the floor. Then we go over to snare drum. We have a whole note. We have a whole note downbeat. Snare 2/4. Snare 2/4 downbeat. 4 on the floor, snare drum. Again, leave some room for reverb. Hi-hat, we have a quarter note hi-hats. We're going to have to turn those up a little bit. Oh, no wonder they're on there. Downbeat. It's a quarter. Yeah. Okay, 8th notes. Eighth notes downbeat. We got hi-hat 16. There's the standard. So you can set up a very standard pattern, very easy just by doing this. That's all you need. Again, you'll notice I have the global shuffle turned on. Okay? 8th notes, 16th notes. Leave the default on the global shuffle. I'm just going to turn this off real quick just so you can get a sense. Just pull these down and start to apply a shuffle to them. You cherry pick your common stuff. These are going to be 3rd notes. I'm going to put 7th notes. I'm going to put accents. So it's going to be basically your straight beats, your accents, and then below that is going to be all this shuffle. I'm going to change up the shuffle. This is basically shuffling the velocity. It's a velocity. It's a shuffle having to do with the velocity of the notes. It's very powerful. You can really get some. It's almost a transient shaper in a way, but you have to do it as you're listening to the MIDI kind of rub up against each other. You got to really get that. You've got to listen to the parts interact with each other and really put that swing in there. So that's basically the drum template. If you open up a normal drum rack, and I put in, let's say I put in my kick drum here. I put in my kick. There it goes. There's my kick drum there. And then I put in my snare drum right here. There it is, a little chuckle-duckle beat, a little chuckle-duckle. Where I put my hat? Okay, so anyway, you got your California kit there, but now you open this up, and there's this area right here. This needs MIDI slot. You need to be able to launch clips inside each cell. Similar to Reason had this thing where you could put your drum loop together in one MIDI clip, right? Explode to tracks or something, but it would put each MIDI lane on its separate drum, and so you could simply mute the MIDI lanes and bring hi-hats in and out of your loop, and it's a beautiful thing. Is I had to put a separate drum rack in each. Now we have to move all of our MIDI data to the C sharp. Now, another option we do have is we could keep all the MIDI data on, we could just keep all the drums on C1, and then since they're in separate MIDI lanes, it doesn't matter. But the beautiful thing about doing it this way is if you drag it over, I would love to be able to just drag this over here and put it under the hi-hat, and it would trigger that hi-hat shit. See, I try to do this, and what this does is it opens up all that shit inside the drum machine that I already got, but I can't put MIDI grids in there. Anyway, so that's not what the solution is. But so that's a big thing. Have all my drums, all my effects, just all in one big rack, and be able to unfold that, which I love. That's a beautiful thing. But the fact is, I can't put MIDI information in each separate drum. Anyway, that's the drum template. Next week, we're going to look at actually the music template, which basically has to do with laying out your scales and then building your instruments and then dragging these scales over. So we're going to talk about that next week. Thanks. Please, if you haven't subscribed, you got to. The reason you should subscribe and watch, if anything, it'll inspire you to go and get in your DAW of choice and really start jamming, you know.